So CBD is not going to solve every problem for you. You have to solve some problems for yourself. Hello, I'm Tom Peterson, and welcome to my video. This is a video on 10 tips for success when utilizing CBD. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 key tips that I feel are going to be very beneficial to anyone who is considering utilizing CBD or has been utilizing CBD as a supplement. So I'm going to get through these, but before I get there, I just want to mention if you happen to enjoy the video, if it's good for you, please feel free to subscribe to the channel so I can continue to keep more education, enlightenment, and knowledge coming your way with regards to CBD. And if this could be a benefit to somebody that you care about or love who could benefit from this content, please share it with them as well. And of course, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, please let me know what I can do better to make this video better or any other video better for you in the future. So I'll get started on the video. So I've been on a journey, whether or not you followed it, don't know. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, the journey at this point in time is in between the 90 to 120 day period. And throughout this journey, I've learned a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of things, and certainly want to pass that knowledge and experience on to you in hopes that it'll help you have the best results possible when utilizing CBD. So tip number one, something that's talked about a lot. I want to make sure that I discuss it, and I'm going to continue to discuss it more because it is a prevalent problem. And that is, make sure that whatever CBD you're buying or purchasing or utilizing is what it's supposed to be, CBD. Make sure it's pure CBD. Again, I have found that even people that I know, a good friend of mine, for example, have been utilizing a product for about 2 or 3 months, spending money on it each and every month, taking a lot of it, and not getting any results out of it. I then started to ask some questions and started to kind of, investigate more, and I had her send me images of the bottle and what that looked like and what was described as far as the contents or ingredients of the bottle, and I found that she was just purchasing 100% hemp seed oil. There was no CBD content in the product whatsoever. So for starters, make sure that what you're buying is CBD. Again, if it's something that can be verified via third-party testing, I strongly recommend you do that. Make sure that the bottle specifically states that it's 100% CBD, pure CBD in that bottle. Otherwise, you don't really know what you're getting. And a lot of times, what it says on the bottle may not be what's in the bottle. So again, those are things that I ask you to do. And again, that's why I recommend the CBD Pure product. This is a pure CBD product. It says so on the bottle. It's verified by the third-party testing. Okay, so that's really, really important. I'm going to go to my notes here every now and then because I've got a long list of things. I don't want to lose track. Secondarily, follow the directions on the bottle as far as the dosing. Dosing is always a challenge because we don't really know what dose is going to work best for you. The manufacturer has guidelines, so follow the guidelines that the manufacturer has put in place. So for example, the bottle that I purchased said take 10 milligrams twice per day. That's what I did. So start with that. And if you need to adjust from there, based on what's working for you or what's not working for you, then absolutely, you should be doing that. It's really, really important. Everybody's different. We're all made differently, so it's really important that we are starting with a good foundation, and at that point in time, making the necessary adjustments from there so that the product works as well as it possibly can for us, being the individuals that we are, okay? Next thing, if you happen to be on any sort of medication that might be a pain med, an anti-anxiety med, an antidepressant med, whatever it might be very cognizant of the fact that CBD is going to have an impact on those medications. And if you are utilizing something that is perhaps an SSRI or something of that nature, suggest you go to my video about SSRIs, look at the list of medications, drugs that are there, and it will essentially cover the majority of the drugs, medications on the market today that utilize the same pathway in terms of the metabolism, the CYP450 pathway in your body. Make sure that the dosing is addressed because, again, I had an example. I'll give you an example of somebody who left a comment on that particular video. She took CBD. She was on an anti-anxiety med, antipsychotic, antidepressant, anti-anxiety, a couple things. had horrible, horrible side effects. Now, as I did my research and learned more about the medications she was taking, again, I don't know what came of the dosing because I never was able to capture that information, but it seemed to me that one of two things happened. Either she experienced withdrawal symptoms by perhaps going cold turkey or titrating down too quickly, too fast on her medication dose, or she didn't do that, added CBD to it, and because CBD slows down the metabolism of those particular medications, she essentially had slight overdose symptoms because there was too much of that medication, too much of those medications in her bloodstream and in her body at the time. So again, those are things you got to talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give you the advice on how to address the dosing when you're on a medication that CBD will impact in terms of metabolism. Make sure you have that conversation with your doctor. Come up with a game plan and a strategy in terms of titrating down on the existing medications, titrating up on the CBD, so you're able to balance that out and have a good result. Worst thing that you can do is go into it not working it out ahead of time, and then you have a bad experience, and unfortunately you end up not utilizing CBD ever again, or something worse can happen than that. We don't want that to happen to you, okay? Next thing, be consistent in what you do, okay? Be consistent in taking the CBD. One thing I have found, I'll give you a perfect example, my wife, who I live with, doesn't take it consistently, okay? You've got to take it consistently. So it's like anything else. If you want it to work and you want to have the best results, you got to stick with it, and you got to do it every day. And if it's twice a day, do it twice a day. If it's 3 times a day, do it 3 times a day. Be consistent in taking the product. If you're inconsistent in taking the product, you're going to have inconsistent results. If you want consistent results and the best results possible, be consistent. Don't miss out on your doses. Make sure you're taking them. And again, being consistent in doing that. Next thing, don't resort to your old ways, okay? So it's really easy to have a bad day, to be suffering, to be frustrated, whatever, and then to resort back to taking your pain meds or popping this pill or popping that pill or just tossing the CBD out. In my journey, I struggled with inflammation and pain a lot throughout my journey, especially through the first 60 days. And the worst of it came between 30 and 60 days, to be quite honest, with my shoulder. And I was tempted on many, many occasions to go back to popping a pain pill, to throwing down some anti-inflammatories. I mean, I was really in a lot of pain. I was miserable. I was frustrated. But I knew that if I did that, I knew that I would be cheating myself out of learning more about myself and utilizing CBD in a manner in which it could benefit me. And I learned along the way that I could add another CBD product to the mix, which was the topical, and achieve amazing results and solve the problem by doing that, as opposed to resorting back to my old ways of popping pain meds. So, you know, it's something that as a society today, we want immediate results. We want something to work immediately. We want to feel it immediately. It's not going to happen like that with CBD. You've got to give it time. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the other, which is be patient, coming up here. Okay? Listen to what your body's telling you. So the other thing was, when I had this inflammation with my shoulder, I had to pay close attention to what my body was telling me. And so again, with CBD, a benefit of utilizing CBD is this wonderful little endocannabinoid called anandamide, which I have found gives me a better mind-body connection. Hopefully you will find the same if you're doing all of these things properly, whereby you can ultimately self-diagnose to a certain degree by doing some research based on your symptoms, gaining knowledge and understanding, and being able to ultimately come up with a solution that's going to work better for you, okay? Because the problem is, it's real easy for us to get frustrated. You know, the pain is difficult. I get it, if that's what you're struggling with, whatever it might be. But you got to just stop and focus on what your body's telling you and see if CBD can help you there, whether it's changing your dosing, whether it's adding another CBD product to the mix. Something that you really have to pay attention to is what your body's telling you. And again, that's something that should improve as long as you're doing the other things well, okay? Be patient. I'm going to go back to that. Again, it took me 60 days, close to 60 days before I was pain-free, okay, about 55 days before I was pain-free. Most people wouldn't give it 55 days. But again, I knew I had to, okay? I knew that I had to figure it out. I had to figure out what was going on, and I had to figure out some sort of way to resolve it without resorting back to the old prescription meds. And I was very dedicated and committed to that. So you have to be very dedicated and committed to that. And again, give it time. I recommend to anybody and everyone who's taken CBD, give it 60 to 90 days. You've got to give it time, and you've got to be consistent in doing it so you can ultimately realize the benefits. But you got to give it time. So be patient. Also be open-minded. And that was the other thing I had to be open-minded when I was dealing with the pain and the issues that I was struggling with. And so that forced me into thinking about other possible solutions to the problem. What else could I possibly do on top of what I'm already doing to help myself? What other products might be out there that would be of benefit to me that I could utilize? And I was able to find a really, really good solution by being open-minded and considering the possibilities of perhaps doing something in addition to what I was already doing. And it worked out really well for me, okay? Don't give up, okay? I know at times it's going to be tough. It was for me. I know that it's not always going to give you the result that you expect at the time in which you expect it, but you got to hang in there. It's like anything else. It's like a diet. Diets aren't easy. It doesn't always give you the results you want when you want them, but you got to stick to it, okay? So again, it's just one of those things that was really beneficial to me, and that's why I'm bringing it up and addressing it with you, because had I not done that, had I given up, thrown in the towel, resorted to my old ways, I wouldn't experience the benefits that I'm experiencing today. And I feel very grateful, you know, that I had the wherewithal to get through that, get over the hump, and stick with it, and realize the benefits that I'm realizing today. Okay, and then lastly, do what you can to help yourself. Okay, so CBD is not going to solve every problem for you. You have to solve some problems for yourself. What I mean by that is, if you're sleeping on a crappy mattress that you've had for 10 or 15 years, and you wake up in the morning, then your body feels like crap, well, get a new mattress. Make sure it's the right kind of mattress. I went through 2 mattresses before I found the right mattress. So that was something I did. If your feet hurt, for example, buy a new pair of shoes. I did, okay? So these are things that I had pain that I wasn't ever expecting to have during my journey, but it was telling me that I needed to do something about it. And it wasn't to sit around and complain about it, and it wasn't to blame CBD for it and, you know, throw in the towel. So do the things necessary, whatever you can do to help yourself along the way to achieve the best result possible, okay? So hopefully these tips were of benefit to you. I hope that they were. I wish you much, much success in your journey. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this content was of benefit to you and you'd like to see more of it coming your way, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And of course, if this could be of benefit to somebody you love or care about, please make sure and share it with them. Of course, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know why so I can do a better job moving forward. And lastly, if you are currently taking CBD or considering taking CBD moving forward, again, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not here to give any sort of medical advice. I'm only here to give you some guidance and some knowledge. Make sure that you have that conversation with your doctor, your psychiatrist, your medical professional before you start to take CBD, especially if you're taking other medications, so they can help guide you along the way. I wish you the best. Good luck to you. I'll see you soon.